In one of the most dramatic moments in South African political history, the nation was left stunned as Nomvula Mokonyane, a senior ANC figure and former Minister of Environmental Affairs, publicly confronted President Cyril Ramaphosa on live television, accusing him of lying to the nation and hiding secret prison contracts worth millions. The shocking exchange took place during what was meant to be a calm and structured televised policy discussion between government officials on the state of correctional facilities and public sector accountability. But within minutes, the tone shifted from calm diplomacy to a political explosion that left the audience and the president himself visibly shaken. As the cameras rolled and the moderator attempted to keep the discussion focused on rehabilitation projects in South African prisons, Mokonyane took the microphone and unleashed a bombshell no one saw coming. "Mr. President," she said, her voice trembling with both anger and conviction, "you lied to all of us. You lied to this country. You stood on public platforms preaching transparency and renewal, yet behind the people's backs, you approved secret contracts that no one in this room or in Parliament ever saw. You betrayed the trust of the very people who voted for you." Gasps filled the studio as Ramaphosa's face froze. For a moment, the usually composed president seemed lost for words. He adjusted his glasses, cleared his throat, and tried to respond, but the silence in the room was deafening. It was a moment that symbolized the deep cracks within the ANC's leadership, cracks that can no longer be hidden behind smiles and slogans. According to documents Mokonyane reportedly obtained from inside the Department of Correctional Services, the contracts in question involved the construction and management of private prison facilities, as well as security and supply agreements linked to companies with close political ties. Allegations suggest these deals were signed quietly and bypassed certain parliamentary oversight processes. One whistleblower, speaking anonymously to the media after the incident, claimed the contracts were worth over $1.8 billion, and several high-ranking officials within the president's circle allegedly benefited. "These are not mere administrative oversights," the source said. "These are intentional actions designed to keep the public in the dark while private pockets are filled." Mokonyane's confrontation wasn't personal, it was a demand for truth. Caught off guard, President Ramaphosa initially tried to dismiss the accusations, calling them baseless and politically motivated. However, his composure wavered as Mokonyane pressed further, refusing to be silenced. "You can deny it all you want, Mr. President," she fired back, "but the people deserve to know what really goes on behind those closed doors in the union buildings. You promised us a new dawn. Instead, you gave us the same darkness, the same deception, and the same corruption you swore to end." The president's aides quickly attempted to cut the broadcast short, but it was too late. Millions of South Africans had already witnessed the confrontation live. Within minutes, clips of the fiery exchange flooded social media, sparking outrage, debate, and disbelief. Online, the reaction was immediate and explosive. The hashtag "He lied to all of us" began trending within hours, with citizens demanding that Ramaphosa publicly release the details of all government contracts involving private prison companies. Social media users expressed a mix of anger and admiration. Nomvula Mokonyane said what every South African has been thinking, one user wrote. "Finally, someone has the courage to call him out to his face," another commented. Others, however, accused Mokonyane of hypocrisy, citing her own controversial past, and suggested that her outburst was politically calculated to regain power within the ANC. Political commentators and analysts have described the confrontation as a turning point in Ramaphosa's presidency. Political analyst Tobo Molefe said, "This is not just about contracts. This is about credibility." Mokonyane's outburst speaks to a growing rebellion within the ANC itself, a sign that loyalty to Ramaphosa is crumbling. He added, "What she did was more than personal defiance, it was symbolic. It told South Africans that even within the ANC, there are those who no longer believe in the president's promises of renewal and clean governance." Insiders within Luthuli House have hinted that tensions have been brewing for months, with several senior members frustrated by what they see as Ramaphosa's failure to act decisively on corruption.